Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare Ram
Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Ram Ram
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
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 Hare Hare
Hare
Hare Ram
Ram Ram Hare Krishna
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 Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare Ram
Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Krishna
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 Hare
Ram Ram Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare Krishna Krishna Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna Krishna
Krishna Hare
Hare Hare Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Hare
Ram Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Krishna 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna,
Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna,
Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna
Ram Ram Ram
Hare Krishna 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Ram Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram Ram
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare Ram,
Ram
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 Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Ram
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Ram
Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Ram
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram Ram Hare Krishna Ram Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Ram
Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna Ram Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Ram
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Ram
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare
Hare Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Hare Ram,
Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram Ram Ram
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram, Ram Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram
Ram,
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 Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram,
Hare
Ram,
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 Ram
Ram,
Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Ram, Ram,
Hare Ram, Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, 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 Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Ram, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Ram, Ram,
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Ram, Ram,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Ram, Ram, Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Hare Hare,
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Hare, Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Ram, Ram,
Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram, Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Ram, Ram, Ram,
Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Ram Hare Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Ram
Krishna Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram Ram
Ram, Ram,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare Hare,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Ram,
Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Ram, Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram, Ram,
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna, Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare 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 Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
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 Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Krishna Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Amen.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Ram Ram Ram
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Ram Ram Hare
Hare Hare Krishna.
Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna
Ram 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 Ram
Hare Hare
Krishna Hare Ram Ram Ram
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram Ram Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Ram 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 Hare
Hare Krishna Ram Ram
Ram
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram
Ram Ram
Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare Ram
Ram Ram Ram Hare
Hare Krishna
Ram Hare
Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna Ram Ram
Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare
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 Krishna
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram Ram
Ram
Ram Ram.
Hare Krishna Krishna Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare
Krishna Krishna
Ram Ram Hare Ram
Ram Ram Ram Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna. Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna
Hare Krishna
Ram.
Krishna
Hare Krishna.
Ram Hare
Hare Krishna.
Ram Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Ram Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna.
Hare Ram
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare
Ram Ram
Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Ram Hare Krishna
Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna Hare Ram Ram Ram
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Ram Hare Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna,
Hare Ram
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare
Krishna Hare Ram
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Hare Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare.
Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare 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 Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare
Ram Hare Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare Hare
Ram Hare
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 Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
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 Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram Ram Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Krishna
Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram Hare Hare, Krishna,
Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Ram Hare 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 Krishna
Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare 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 Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Hare
Ram 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 Hare Hare. Ram 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 Hare Krishna. Ram Ram
Hare Krishna,
Ram Ram Ram.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Ram Ram.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare
Ram Ram.
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Ram 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 Ram.
Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare
Krishna 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 Hare
Hare Krishna,
Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare
Hare Ram
Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Ram 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 Hare Krishna, Ram 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 Hare
Hare Ram Hare Ram
Krishna Krishna Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare
Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Ram 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 Ram, Hare
Krishna Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram
Ram Ram Ram
Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna
Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram Ram,
Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare
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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram Hare Ram
Krishna Hare Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram
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 Ram,
Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram Hare Ram Ram
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Hare Krishna Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram Hare
Ram Ram,
Ram
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 Hare
Ram Hare
Hare,
Hare
Ram Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Ram,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram 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 Hare Hare
Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna,
Ram Ram Hare Hare
Ram Ram,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Ram Ram,
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram 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 Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Ram Ram,
Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Ram
Ram
Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Ram,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare,
Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Ram, Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Ram,
Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Ram, Ram, Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Hare, Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram, 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 Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Ram,
Hare, Ram, 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 Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Ram,
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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Ram, Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Ram, Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Ram,
Hare, Ram, Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare, Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram.
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Ram Ram,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare Hare Ram
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram 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 Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Ram 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 Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Ram Ram Hare Hare, Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
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 Ram,
Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Ram 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 Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Ram 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 Ram
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Ram 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram, Hare Ram,
Ram
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 Ram,
Ram
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Ram
Hare Hare,
Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare Ram,
Ram
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 Ram,
Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Hare Hare
Ram, Ram Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare Ram Hare
Hare
Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare
Hare Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
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 Hare
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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram,
Hare Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram, Ram,
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna,
Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
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 Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
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 Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
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 Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Ram Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Ram Ram Ram, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram, 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, 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 Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Ram,
Hare, Hare
Ram,
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 Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare Ram,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram,
Krishna
Ram Hare,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram.
Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna Hare
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 Krishna
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
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 Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram
Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram Ram Ram
Hare Ram
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Ram 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 Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram Ram
Krishna Hare 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 Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna Hare Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Ram
Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Ram Ram
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. You like
Hare
to
Krishna,
share?
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam.
Dandavat. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining. Anything anyone would like to share?
Yes, Prabhu. I can read the next.
Sure.
Narottam Das Thakur. This is Sri Vrindavan Bas Lalasa. So, hankering to stay in Vrindavan. These are the series. Okay, so Narottam Das Thakur is praying, when will I renounce all material impediments and go to Vrindavan Dham? O Lord Hari, when will my life change in this way? I hope I will be able to change my mode of living in this way. When will I leave all my wealth, followers, children, and wife far behind, and with only one desire to go to Vrindavan? When will I leave all material miseries and live in Vrindavan, eating only whatever food I can obtain by begging? When will I take long drinks of the Yamuna's water, which is as sweet as nectar? When with great happiness will I bathe at Radha Kund? When will I permanently reside at Shyama Kund? When will I wander in the 12 forests of Vrindavan, where Lord Krishna enjoyed nectar pastimes? And when, overwhelmed with ecstatic love, will I roll about in the dust of these places? When will I become pure in heart? When will I offer obeisances to all the residents of Braj, reverentially touching their lotus feet? When will I be able to see the gardens of Vrindavan, where the great devotees worship the Lord? Narottam Das hopes to one day attain the lotus feet of the divine couple. So, yeah, he wants to reside in Vrindavan, leaving behind his material life, all his material relatives, and stay in Vrindavan with the advanced devotees, and leave behind material miseries, and just stay there eating whatever is available through Madhukari, and drinking Yamuna's water, staying at Radha Kund, Shyam Kund, and rolling on the dust of Vrindavan, and just hearing about Krishna's nectarian pastimes from the devotees, and that way become pure in heart to leave all the anarthas, and see the gardens of Vrindavan. Yeah, you would like to add something, Prabhu?
No, it's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would like to continue the pastime we were hearing. Krishna has become a beggar, asking for Radha Prem, and so now, let's see. When Krishna arrived at the gate of Radharani's Kunj, Lalita and Vishaka saw the beautiful sannyasi and heard this wonderful song. Lalita inquired, "O Sannyasi Thakur, where did you learn such a nice song?" The Sannyasi Thakur said, "I have a guru. Her name is Gandharvika. I have learned it from her." Then Vishaka asked, "Why have you come here? What do you want, Sannyasi Thakur?" "I am a sannyasi. I don't want anything from this material world. I have given up everything because I am a beggar of Prem only, Prem Bhikhari.
Vishaka said, "All right, Sannyasi Thakur, my dear Sakhi is very distressed. She is in a dying condition. Her fate is very ill-fated. Oh Sannyasi Thakur, can you calculate the fortune of my Prana Sakhi?" "Oh yes, I know how to do it." "Who has taught you?" "Oh, I have learned from my Guru Gandharvika. She has taught me all these things." Hearing this, Vishaka asked, "Sannyasi Thakur, will you come into the Kunj to calculate the fortune of our Pran Sakhi? Then you'll get her blessings. By my Sakhi's blessings, you will definitely get Prem." The Sannyasi Thakur said, "Yes, why not? I must go, because I am greedy for that Prem Dhan. Therefore, I have put on the sannyasi vesh. I am a beggar of prema. So I must go." Then they took the sannyasi Thakur into the kunja. Lalita entered into the inner chamber where Radharani was lying and reported to her that a wonderful sannyasi Thakur has come. In the meantime, Vishaka requested him, "Sannyasi Thakur, will you please sing that very nice song you were singing? I want to hear that sweet song. Will you sing it?" Sannyasi Thakur said, "Yes, why not? That is my favorite song." Then he started to sing, "Aji Radha Prema Bhiksha Magi Kanu Fere Dware Dware Hai." Today Kanu has become a beggar, moving from doorstep to doorstep, begging for Radharani's love. When he sang this last line and the words entered into the ears of Radharani, immediately the crying mood came out from her heart. She said, "Ashlishya vapadratam panishtumam adarshanan marmahtam kurotu va yatha tatha va vidadatu lampato mat prananathastu saevana paraha." Let that debauchee do whatever he likes. He may embrace me or kick me. He may burn me with the blazing fire of separation, not giving me darshan. Let him do whatever he wants. He is a debauchee after all. But still, he will always be my Prananath, the Lord of my heart, and not anyone else. That's the last verse from Shikshashtakam. This is the verse of Mahaprabhu's Shikshashtakam and came out from the core of Radharani's heart. Then Lalita consoled her, "Oh my Pran Sakhi, be pacified, have patience. A nice sannyasi Thakur has come. He knows everything. He will calculate your fortune, whether you can meet your Pran Vallabh, the Lord of your heart." After carefully arranging 2 seats on the veranda of Radharani's kunj, Lalita requested the sannyasi to take his seat there. Then Radharani came out from her inner chamber. She was wearing a veil over her head because she never looks at the face of any male person. No male person but Krishna can see the face of Radharani. Lalita made her sit down on the other seat just in front of Sannyasi Thakur. Then Lalita held out Radharani's left hand to show to Sannyasi Thakur. "Oh Sannyasi Thakur," she said, "please calculate the fortune of our Pran Sakhi." Sannyasi Thakur said, "Please excuse me. I am a sannyasi. I cannot touch the hand of any lady. No, my sannyas dharma will be broken." "How can you calculate then?" "I can calculate your Sakhi's fortune by seeing the lines on her forehead. I know how to do it. Remove the veil and I will calculate." Then Vishaka said, "Oh Sannyasi Thakur, you see, our Sakhi never looks at the face of any male in this world. She is very strict in that matter." The cheating sannyasi replied, "Are Baba, I am a dandi sannyasi. Don't you understand? I have no desires. I have given up everything. I am only a beggar, begging love. I am Prem Bhikhari. Why is your Sakhi ashamed to remove her veil before a dandi sannyasi? If your Sakhi lifts the veil, there is no harm at all. Then I can calculate. I am a sannyasi. I am not an ordinary male." When Lalita removed the veil, immediately Shyam Tribhanga Lalita, Krishna's form, came out. The sannyasi form disappeared. He was standing in a graceful threefold bending form with a flute, peacock feather, yellow garments, and nice ornaments. Then Krishna's eyes fell on the eyes of Radharani, eye to eye union. Immediately her sulkiness disappeared. Vishakha became amazed. "What is this?" So I will continue the rest later. But whenever Radharani looks at Krishna, Krishna cannot maintain his disguise. We have also heard that previously when Krishna took the form of Narayan, when he had disappeared from the Ras Leela, right? 400 form. And all the gopis were searching for him, and the gopis came to Narayan and they offered him obeisances and asked him, "Where is Krishna?" And Narayan told him, giving the direction of Krishna is, he has gone there. So they left. But when Radharani came, this Narayan, two hands dropped and Narayan form disappeared and Krishna's form came. So here too. And Radharani's mood of the last verse of Shikshashtakam is the highest level of devotion, is the unconditional bhav. Whether Krishna gives me darshan or not, whether he reciprocates me with me or not, whether he gives me distress or happiness, it doesn't matter. He will always be the Lord of my heart unconditionally, birth after birth. So yeah, that's the Radharani's prem is the highest. Anything else you would like to add, Prabhu?
No, thank you. Very nice pastime. So there is, we know when Krishna left one time with Radharani, and then they both were. Then Radharani slowed down. Is that the sequence in which then the Gopi Geet happens, right? After that, and then when they are crying, then Krishna appears before them. But there is another time, right, when Krishna left, and which you are describing when he becomes Narayan.
Yeah, it's not mentioned in Bhagavatam, right? This pastime of Krishna becoming Narayan. So we don't know what order it is and where in the Ras Leela this happens.
Okay. Okay. All right. Just wanted to clarify. So. Okay. Anything else that anybody like to say? So we can also aspire that one day we'll come to the point of unconditional surrender to Krishna. Radharani is teaching through her devotion to all of us.
Yeah, one devotee was saying that surrender means no complaints and no demands. No demands from Krishna and not complaining about anything.
However you keep me, in whatever situation, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'll serve you.
If you feel happiness giving me distress, then that's my happiness as well. Like we heard that verse, right? I want Krishna to be happy. That's the Vrajvasi's mood, right?
Yeah.
May Krishna be happy.
That's also in that Gopi's headache pastime also. It's like, yeah, everywhere like that. Okay, and in that state they feel very happy. Seeing Krishna happy. We know that how the love increases in the spiritual world. Krishna becomes happy seeing the gopis, seeing Krishna happy, the gopis become even more beautiful or happier, and then Krishna becomes even more happier. Goes on like that. So, Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam. Okay, anything else to say? Okay, we'll read Srimad Bhagavatam 329.1. Explanation of devotional service by Lord Kapila. Devahutir So, last chapter was also titled Kapila's instructions on execution of devotional service. This may be further explanation of devotional service by Lord Kapila. Lakshanam mahad adinam prakrite purushasya cha swarupam lakshate misham yena tat paramarthikam yatha sankheshu kathitam yanmulam tat prachakshate bhakti yogasya me margam bruhi vistarashah prabhu. Devahuti inquired, "My dear Lord, you have already very scientifically described the symptoms of the total material nature and the characteristics of the spirit according to the Sankhya system of philosophy. Now I shall request you to explain the path of devotional service, which is the ultimate end of all philosophical systems." So previously some Sankhya philosophy was described and material nature and everything. Now she says, "Tell me about path of bhakti, which is the end of everything, bhakti Vedanta." Everything, that's why we say in the yoga ladder, bhakti yoga is the highest. It is the culmination of all yoga practices and everything to culminate in bhakti. Krishna says also, "Yogi nam api sarvesham madgatena antaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam samyuktatamavataha." And everything is ultimately meant to bring us to the point of loving Krishna. So it's the end of all. There are different philosophical systems, Vaisheshika, Nyaya, and like that. Different philosophical systems, but ultimately it culminates in bhakti. That's what she knows. So she's saying, "Please explain to me the path of bhakti." In this 29th chapter, the glories of devotional service are elaborately explained. And we say, "Bhagavad Bhakti hinasya jati shastram japatapa apranasya dehasya mandalam lokaranjanam." Without bhakti, everything is like decoration on a dead body. So, in this 29th chapter, of course, it will lead to bhakti if they are favorable things, austerity and everything, but ultimately, bhakti should arise in the heart. It's already there. So, in this 29th chapter, the glories of devotional service are elaborately explained, and the influence of time on the conditioned soul is also described. The purpose of elaborately describing the influence of time is to detach the conditioned soul from its material activities, which are considered to be simply a waste of time. Again, detachment is coming, because with time everything will be dismantled. So, in that sense, we are in the flow of time, like in a current. We are floating in a river of time, and it's like endlessly flowing, right? Time is flowing, and we are being in this prava, in this current. And so, the influence of time, it says, the purpose of elaborately describing the influence of time is to detach the conditioned soul from its material activities. Means all these material activities amount to nothing at the end of life, when everything is taken away and like that, which are considered to be simply a waste of time. But it's a material or spiritual activity based on what is the purpose why you're doing it. In the previous chapter, material nature, the spirit, and the Supreme Lord or Super Soul are analytically studied. And in this chapter, the principles of Bhakti Yoga or devotional service, the execution of activities in eternal relationship between living entities and the personality of Godhead are explained. So, what are the activities in loving relationship between the Lord and His devotees? Bhakti Yoga, devotional service, is the basic principle of all systems of philosophy. All philosophy which does not aim for devotional service to the Lord is considered merely mental speculation. But of course, Bhakti Yoga with no philosophical basis is more or less sentiment. What did Prabhupada say about religion and philosophy? That statement.
Religion without philosophy is sentimentalism, and in extreme it becomes fanaticism. And philosophy without religion is mental speculation.
So that's what Prabhupada is saying. Religion without philosophy. But of course, Bhakti Yoga with no philosophical basis is more or less sentiment. Means you have to understand the position of Krishna, the position of the Jiva, and the way to attain Krishna as given in the Shastras, like Ya Shastra Vidim Utsrichya Vartate Kama. That other verse is there, right? What is that verse which says bhakti without any reference to the Puranas and everything? It's simply a disturbance in the society.
Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatri Vidimana Aikantiki Harer Bhakti Utpatev Kalpati.
So I cannot like make up my own way of Pancharatri Vidhi, and so like, okay, I think, okay, maybe this onion garlic I can offer to Krishna. It's like, okay, then, okay, it can be offered. I can make up my own rules and regulations, right? So, not like that. We have to follow the Pancharatra Vidhi to, and what is the position of Krishna, like that. So, there are two classes of men. Of course, in a higher state of love, you don't follow Pancharatra Vidhi. Like Sanatana Goswami was not following any Pancharatra Vidhi, and Shabri was not following anything. Because that is very on spontaneous love platform. What did Prabhupada say? ISV yesterday. Spontaneous, voluntary. He said Prabhupada wanted us to do something, he said, at the last. Okay. You want to say anything? Yeah. ISV.
No, I think, yeah, you got the. So, what is I? Aritra Prabhu was there. Does he remember?
Independent.
Mm.
I don't know. Can't remember. Okay. Some consider themselves intellectually advanced and simply speculate and meditate. And others are sentimental and have no philosophical basis for their propositions. Of course, in bhakti there is a lot of sentiment. But yeah, just sentimental means we have to understand also what is what. In a higher state, yeah, it's like more based on bhav and not so much philosophy, but beginning at least we have to understand. Neither of these can achieve the highest goal of life, or if they do, it will take them many, many years. Bahunam janmanam ante. After many, many births, one comes to understand that Krishna is everything and I should surrender to him. So Prabhupada says, why wait for so many lifetimes? You can surrender in a moment, surrender now itself. Why wait for so many lifetimes? Nice. Oh, yeah, you want to read that?
So, this is a vision of California's temple or something. Devotees are enthused to render individual, spontaneous, and voluntary service, ISV, feeling enlivened by an atmosphere in which they feel loved, trusted, and empowered.
So it was the vision, ISV temple, in individual, spontaneous, and voluntary service. Okay. Individual, yeah. Prabhupada also said, like, this Krishna consciousness movement is to make the devotees independently thoughtful on how they can serve Krishna. Of course, can't be independent without Shastra and not with bureaucracy. That's what it says. Krishna consciousness movement, here it is saying. Means we have to respect the desires of different devotees to serve Krishna in different ways without imposing. Well, there is some discussion about it. Yes, yes. Not this. Here, Krishna consciousness movement is for training men to be independently thoughtful and competent in all types of departments of knowledge and action, for not for making bureaucracy. Once there is bureaucracy, the whole thing will be spoiled. Okay. So, Vedic literature therefore suggests that there are three elements, namely the Supreme Lord, the living entity, and their eternal relationship. And the goal of life is to follow the principles of bhakti or devotional service, and ultimately attain to the planet of the Supreme Lord in full devotion and love as an eternal servitor of the Lord. Prabhupada also said, if going back to Godhead is our goal of life, then we should attain that goal by all means. Means whatever it takes to attain that goal, we should be willing to do. Just like if my goal is to become a doctor, then I will do whatever it takes. So similarly, we should also not leave any stone unturned in achieving the goal of going back to Godhead. So Sankhya philosophy is the analytical study of all existence. One has to understand everything by examining its nature and characteristics. This is called the acquirement of knowledge. So everything we study and we examine what is the nature, what is the characteristics of a thing, that is Sankhya. But one should not simply acquire knowledge without reaching the goal of life or the basic principle for acquiring knowledge, Bhakti Yoga. So all this knowledge is meant to bring us to devotion to Krishna. Prabhupada was called Bhakti Vedanta. Veda Anta. Anta means end of all knowledge is Bhakti. So Bhakti Vedanta. If we give up Bhakti Yoga and simply busy ourselves in the analytical study of the nature of the things as they are, then the result will be practically nil. So if we just study this world, what is this made up of, what is this, what is that, like, because of curiosity, right, we can study so many things, but if there is no bhakti, then we'll rotate in the cycle of birth and death. And yeah, I mean, scientists are devotees of matter, right? They study matter and how it interacts and that's why we have so many inventions and discoveries that have happened, because they are dedicated to studying matter. They do experiments in the laboratory and so many things, and they are into research, trying to find out how to retard that gene which causes aging, how to find the diseases early. So like that, there are so much research is going on. And that's okay at one level. You have your job and your profession, but it won't solve the problem of life, because our problem is not a material problem, it's a spiritual problem, it's a consciousness problem. We have a consciousness problem, and you can't fix a consciousness problem by studying matter. You have to fix the consciousness. So we have turned away from Krishna. That's a consciousness problem. And you can't, of course, they may not accept that there is God and this is the problem, but they just want to study matter and try to fix. But despite all that, they can't conquer death. The scientists themselves will die. Of course, you may say, well, we'll make the quality of life better for people, but that is also really not, I don't know if it's really become longer, or so many things have happened and it has decreased the span of life also. Because with science you can use science to increase commercial production of grains and so many things, and you tamper with nature, and then it causes many side effects, and that's why many people are getting, you know, diseases like cancer and so many things. So we don't know what we are eating, and so it is stated in the Bhagavatam that such engagement is something like husking a paddy. There is no use beating the husk if the grain has already been removed. So you beat the husk if to get grain, but if the grain is removed, then what is the point? By the scientific study of material nature, the living entity and the super soul, one has to understand the basic principle of devotional service to the Lord. Of course, when we have disease, then we take shelter of scientific advancement that has been done. We take pills and things like that, which have come after so much research. So there is some credit to the scientists, but their intelligence is also, they have got that intelligence by Krishna's mercy only. So indirectly, even if some pill cures us, it was made by some scientists after so much research, but that intelligence to the scientist was given by Krishna, and that's why he was able to do the research and make the pill, and that's what. So indirectly, even the ultimate cause is Krishna. The medicine may be the immediate cause, but the ultimate cause is Krishna. Because of him, I got cured. Because he gave the intelligence to the scientists, and the scientists engaged in research and found out the chemicals and made a pill, and that pill removed my headache. So in that way also we can say. So should we not give credit to the scientists? Yes, I mean, to some degree, yes, we should, because they acted as the instrument. So, but ultimately Krishna gave the intelligence. So, okay. So next verse. Virago yena purusho bhagavan sarvato bhavet achakshva jiva lokasya vivida mama shansriti. Devahuti continued, my dear Lord, please also describe in detail, both for me and for people in general, the continual process of birth and death. For by hearing of such calamities, we may become detached from the activities of this material world. Devahuti ultimately wants to become detached. Her husband has left, and now she wants to become detached. And she's telling me, please tell me more about the miseries of this material existence, so that I will become detached from all these desires. And she says, please describe in detail. Like Parikshit Maharaj sometimes tells, as we were hearing in Kaliya pastime, in which in one verse Shukdev Goswami covered the whole Kaliya pastime. And Parikshit Maharaj said, no, please describe exactly in detail what happened. So that is about Krishna Katha. This is also Krishna Katha. Because if we become detached from the material world, then we'll become more interested in Krishna. Or our bhakti will be more like concentrated and focused. So she's saying that, yeah, please tell me about the miseries of birth and the calamities of material existence, so that I can become detached. In this verse, the word sansriti is very important. Shriti, okay. Sanshriti. San means complete, sanshriti. Shreya Shriti means the prosperous path of advancement towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Shreya Shriti. Shreya means ultimate benefit. So the path, Shriti is like maybe the path. And Sanshriti may be the path of birth and death. But Shreya Shriti is the path of advancement towards Supreme Personality of God. And Sanshriti means the continued journey on the path of birth and death. So in human life, we have two paths. It's like you come to a T junction, right? Sometimes the road ends, and you can go left and you can go right. There are two paths. So one is the path going back to Godhead, and the other path is coming into this material world in the cycle of birth and death. Again, suffering, suffering, suffering. People who have no knowledge of this material world, okay, and Sansriti means the continued journey on the path of birth and death towards the darkest regions of material existence. Tamishram, that Matirna Krishna Parato Svatova. What is that verse? Matirna Krishna.
विपद्यते ग्रहान् अदान्त गोभिर्विश्रान्त मिश्रं पुनः पुनः चर्विता चर्वणानाम् मतिर्न कृष्णे परतस्वतो वा Grahavratanam. So those who are, those who have uncontrolled senses, those who are engaged in the material life, they progress towards tamishram, the hellish conditions, and they chew what has already been chewed. Puna puna charvita charvanam. And matir, like their inclinations don't for Krishna are never aroused, either by discussions with others or by themselves or by combination of both.
Nice. Yeah. Parato is others. And so Matirna Krishna, Mati means your inclination or your interest in Krishna is not Matirna Krishna. Parata is others. Swata is one's own effort, others, or a combination. Mitho is combination of both. Because you have decided to enjoy in this material world. Griha Vratanam, in the materialistic way of living. Griha is also this body, and Vrata means your staunch vow of enjoyment in this material world. So Griha is the body also. So for the soul. So if you have decided to enjoy this body and the senses and engage in sense gratification, then you will not become Krishna conscious. He's telling Hiranyakashipu when Hiranyakashipu asked, if nobody in the school is teaching about Krishna consciousness, then how did this Krishna consciousness develop in you? Then Prahlad Maharaj says, well, Krishna consciousness cannot develop. He did not say how it developed, but he said, Krishna consciousness cannot develop if you have uncontrolled senses and you have desires, uncontrolled desires to enjoy in this material world, then Krishna consciousness cannot develop. Like that is telling, and then you will only simply rotate in the cycle of birth and death, doing the same thing over and over again, going through repeated birth and death and doing the same over and over again. So that's what. So Prabhupada here is saying like that. Right? So, people who have no knowledge of this material world, God and their actual intimate relation, and it is going to get bad also as Kali Yuga progresses. So people who have no knowledge of this material world, God and their actual intimate relationship with Him, are actually going to the darkest region of material existence in the name of progress in the material advancement of civilization. Yeah, so they are very much attached to advancing material civilization, but it doesn't solve the root cause of the problem. When we get diseases like cancer and things like that, it just turns around our life completely. And of course, we utilize the material advancement and all that, but it's very difficult. And the whole thing changes. We have a verse from 244 by Kishore. You want to say something?
Yes, Prabhuji, the same verse. Actually, I was just reading this morning. It's the same thing. Those who are too attached to material sense enjoyment, in them, the resolute determination for devotional service will never happen. So this verse is Bhogaishwarya Prasaktanam Taya Pahrata Chetasam Vyavasayatmika Buddhi Samadhau Na Vidhiyate. So basically here, in the minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence and who are bewildered by such things, a resolute determination for devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place. So it's kind of the same thing what you were saying.
Because that chetasa, the consciousness, has been aparita. Aparita means...
Are you able to hear me?
Prabhuji, you're on mute.
Sorry. Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. Sorry, I put myself on mute. So thank you for sharing that. So chetasa, our consciousness, has been aparita. It has been kidnapped by the desires for enjoyment, and so we cannot focus it on Krishna. So, as you were saying, distraction means.
Also, Bhagavad Gita says, Trividham narkeshidam dwaram nashnamatna kama krodha tatha lobhas tasmadetatrayam tyajet. There are 3 gates to hell: lust, anger, and greed. Every sane man should give it up, for they lead to the degradation of the soul. Same as Matirna Krishna. So if the lust, anger, greed stays, people are going to be degraded to the hellish conditions.
Yeah. So bhoga is because of lust. Bhoga means the desire to enjoy. Is because of lusty desires for enjoyment. And Aishwarya is also another kind of, you want opulence because you want to enjoy. So we want artha because we want kama. So like that. In that way. That's why in that series of verses in the 16th chapter, Krishna says, one who has escaped the 3 gates to hell, he performs activities which are conducive for his spiritual advancement. Right after that, it was Krishna says,
Itev mukte kaunteya tamo dware stribhir nara acharite atmana shreyas tato yati param gatim. Those who have escaped these 3 gates of hell, they perform acts conducive to self-realization, and gradually they attain the supreme destination.
Thank you. So we have to escape these lusty desires. Somehow we have to run away from lusty desires or keep them far away by, as Krishna says, by devotional service. One should keep all these desires far away. You escape, you run away from these desires. So then you can do things which are favorable for your bhakti, for your real self. Nate vidu swartha gatim hi Vishnu. So Prahlad Maharaj says, we don't know our real self-interest is Vishnu. We think that fulfilling all these lusty desires is my real self-interest. Because I get some enjoyment out of it. I think that's but Prabhupada says this sense enjoyment is actually, what is this? The very feeling, something is right.
The very feeling is, there might be a feeling of happiness and sense enjoyment, but that feeling of happiness is the ultimate enemy of the sense enjoyer.
Ultimate enemy. Yeah. So, and it will not make us peaceful also. Because these desires are not like going to die down. And the next time around, what happens is your proclivity to indulge in those things increases because of, and then it goes like in a cycle and increases more and more. Dushpurena nalinacha. Generally it is like that. Unless we do it, we satisfy our desires and dovetail it in Krishna's service in a very, very regulated way. Otherwise, greed is also like that, right? You get some money and then you want more money, then you want more money. There's no end to it. So it's always like, that's why Vaman Dev told Bali Maharaj that, it's person's senses are uncontrolled, he may have everything to enjoy in this world, he will still not be satisfied. So, because only devotional service can satisfy the soul. And we want to be peaceful, and lust is like fire. So if fire burns, it agitates the heart. But we want to be peaceful, like Prabhupada gave the example that they are smoking cigarette and they are saying it's cool. He's smoking fire and he's thinking it's cool. How can there be coolness? You're smoking fire. So the more we increase our material desires, the more the agitation will increase and we will not be peaceful. So, and we're not peaceful, then we cannot sit down and study the scriptures with a peaceful mind and contemplate on it and think about it. Because the mind is going everywhere. So human life is meant to be very sober and very thoughtful. So whatever helps us to become sober, thoughtful, more focused on Krishna, that's the path. So people who have no knowledge of this material world, God and their actual intimate relationship with Him are actually going to the darkest region of material existence in the name of progress, in the material advancement of civilization. So we are thinking, yes, Prabhupada is saying that we are building these big skyscrapers and so many things, and that's material progress, very, shiny and very glittering. But what are they doing? They are doing all sinful activities. And hell is right here, right? I mean, all the slaughterhouses. The other day I went to Costco, and I don't generally go by that side where there are all the meat and everything is being sold. But people were buying, they were looking at it from different ways, and they're looking at what is this. And even in checkout, I saw so many people had this. So, of course, they may be ignorant, and that is why we have to distribute this knowledge to others. But this is like one Costco warehouse in one city, and there are so many Kroger and Walmart and everywhere, and every nook and corner there is like a gas station which sells meat products. So how many animals have been slaughtered like that? So it's going on right now. And in the name of material advancement, so many animals are being used for experimentation, poor animals. So this is going on. I mean, okay, we can say it's for the betterment of human life, but what about that animal the soul in that animal body? What they must be going through. So that nobody's thinking like that. because there's no empathy. We were one of the things of devotee care was empathetic listening. Means you put yourself in other person's shoes to see what they are going through. Because everybody is selfish nowadays, right? They are only concerned about their enjoyment. So there is no they're not thinking what the animals are going through in slaughterhouse. What pain they are going through. And it is also hidden. So this is one aspect of, so like that. So to enter the darkest region of material existence means to enter into a species of life other than human species. So after so much trouble, we get this human form of life, and then we go again down into the animal species. So it is great loss. Ignorant men do not know that after this life they are completely under the grip of material nature. And they will be offered a life in which may not be very congenial. You can get the body of a tree or some bird or some dog or some snake or crocodile or frog or so many. How a living entity gets different kinds of bodies will be explained in the next chapter. So after going through all this struggle, so many years and millions of years of transmigration, we have come to human form of life, and now we are we don't take care, then we can again go down into the animal species. And again come back again to the. And there is a lot of suffering, right, in the animal species. One animal becomes prey for another animal. Like Prabhu was telling how, they are always in a herd because they are always the predators. Buffaloes stay in herd. But the lion is looking for that one buffalo or deer that is going to be separated. So he's chasing, and then one deer gets separated and then he gets killed. So, of course, this is about unity in devotional service. But so there are many such, documentaries, videos. How a living entity gets different kinds of bodies will be explained in the next chapter. This continual change of bodies in birth and death is called sansar. Devahuti requests her glorious son, Kapila Muni, to explain about this continued journey to impress upon conditioned souls that they are undergoing a path of degradation by not understanding the path of Bhakti Yoga devotional service. Okay. Any comments? So our path is not that of Pravritti Marg, but it is Nivritti Marg. Bhakti Yoga is the path of Nivritti Marg, or the path of progressive renunciation. So that
To begin,
Huh?
go ahead, Prabhu.
No, you say.
I was just reading that verse that you are saying, that you are reading. I was thinking like to begin bhakti, one needs a little detachment. But here the Devahuti requested to Kapila Muni to know about that birth and death of living entities, continued birth. Because he says that we're talking about all the calamities and a continued journey of the conditioned souls. So one can become completely detached by hearing that what person is going through, the living entity is going through in this material world. Um, in every species have their different challenges. Even the human species also their activities. And of course, she's not requesting about the one word. She's requesting about the continued journey of conditioned souls. So one can become completely detached. Because if someone doesn't have a little detachment, one cannot take up a bhakti. Because enjoying in this material world, as you said, that when the advancement is there, there are so many things which we can enjoy by the senses and the mind. So one cannot take up the bhakti. When detached or something comes up, oh no, there is no happiness or hurtful sentiments like that. So we try to find out there's some other way to get to, and not to get hurt or not to take up any other suffering in life. So it's kind of little detachment comes in the heart. Then we go for the bhakti. And when you are talking about the sense, I remind that words in the Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, that they're talking about that the happiness will arise from the contact of senses. How it starts? Vishayendriya samyogad yattad agre mritopamam pariname visham tad sukham ragasam smita. So it appears like a nectar at first, but end is like poisonous. It's like a poison at the end. So that's what then other words is that ehi sansprashda bhoga dukhayona evatam adi antvant. What is that? Adi antvant.
Konteya, Nateshwara.
This Kantivudha. So those who are wise, they are not even indulge in this and happiness which arises from the senses, the mental concoction. So, and this all develops by hearing, right? It's like we hear that how much calamities, how much suffering in this world, and every species going through. So yes.
Yeah, sometimes you should go and visit the hospital and see how patients are. So we can see what is it like that, how it see some. We've been to some hospitals, we saw also So, so that is all to sober us up. But despite seeing all this suffering, sometimes we don't become detached because the force of desire is very strong. So then slowly and gradually, athakena prayuktayam papam charati purusha anichanapi varshneya baladivani yojita.
In
So,
United States, people used to visit cremation grounds also, right? There, if you go on the what are the if you search or maybe on the flyer also the pamphlet, they show that in this city or what kind of the places you can visit, and they like crematory, the ground, and it's all there in Salem. Then I asked one person that. This is a place you want to go to visit, or then what you are seeing there. I mean, all the bodies were cremated over there. So what is the thing you want to see there? So he said like very nice thing. He said that we go there to see our future. So this is our future, everybody's future. And then I asked that, okay, yeah, that's true. That's it's hard true. Everybody's future is like that. It's we make the houses, but that area, that size, that mansion and building, but after we don't need anything. Even the body will be either you burn the body or you dig the body and put it on the earth. We just need a little this land, and in that land we also don't need to buy that land. So after seeing all these and after realizing all these, is there something that we can do for our soul? I mean, it was like confusing question for him too, and that's how I know I talk about like Bhagavad Gita. I gave him also, but yeah, it's nice. He also doesn't have any idea what should we do, what we can do, why we are. Everybody wants to be happy, but nobody is happy. What we can do for that? And he used to go there to see because it's just nearby place, and I saw him like many times to go there. So yes, this is a future, but how many people actually very serious about that? I mean, again we come back in this world, and again we do the same thing. Again we do go for work, and more than 8 hours we work, um, and everything. We just want to, bank balance and all, just to be happy and settle in this material world.
So I have something to add to that. You're saying that by going to you're seeing your future, and you know that that piece of land is not yours, but there's a totally another view of this whole thing, and maybe most of us know about this. I heard this a long time back, that you can buy a piece of land with a view, and you can select, that's where I want to be buried. So that's like that's how bewildered we are. And prasaktana, right? Prasaktam, it's like, it's got a superlative degree to the asakti. So if we are in that mode of, in that type of consciousness, then this is what we will do. We will want a burial place with a view. And they sell that at a premium rate. So you can actually, people do that. People choose the coffin that they want to, the casket in which they want to be buried in. So many things happen. It's going on.
with a view, yeah. That sometimes they say, I want to be buried beside my wife, or I want to be buried beside my. So whoever dies first will reserve two spots, right? Two places. So one, the body of my husband or wife, whoever dies first will be there, and then I want to be buried next to. So they think like as if it's going to be like the bodies are still going to be together, and like, but the soul has departed and has gone to next body. So who is there going to see like that? And maybe the people who come, of course, they want to see that, okay, uh, if there's a nice view, then people who come to that place to see that where they are buried, they will get a nice view. Because the person who has died is not going to see what the view is like. But this is like in Egypt, right? They used to do that. What they
Yeah,
call.
even I read about that. You will have a beautiful view if you book your town now itself, and that was an advertisement I saw, and I was just laughing about it. And after the body is gone, what we are going to view and who is going to see?
Oh, yeah.
So,
They used to put like with the dead body, they will put all the what is the food and everything so that they will take to the journey. But that's the ignorance that we are this body, right? People, mummies, what is they called?
it's mummies, yes, mummies.
Mummy
Mummy.
side, yeah,
Yeah,
mummy
and
side.
then they keep some.
Sorry.
Go on.
No, I was just asking this question about the mummies. It comes from an ancient tradition, and people those days were spiritual. So, what was their thought process that the body is going to go, like in the body we are going to go? Oh, what was that?
They used to think that the soul may come back and they have to enjoy all those things. So they keep even the slaves, money, gold, and what all the things he requires in life. So they had that illusion that that the body will come back to that, the soul will come back. So that is what I read.
Sometimes they say on the day of resurrection, then the bodies will come alive again, something like that. That's when Jesus Christ comes back, and all those who had faith in Jesus, they will be born again. They will come back. It's something I don't know, but this
That's what
body, huh?
maybe it has something to do with us going back to the spiritual kingdom in and having our eternal bodies. Even though Christianity doesn't really allude to that, but they say we're going back to the kingdom of God, and I guess maybe that's what it's kind of there. It's very there's a gray area. They don't describe all this in great detail like Bhagavatam describes or our scriptures describe, but probably they believe in the same things. They just say it.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes they think that they were going to heaven, and then my family, all my grandfather and those who passed away before me, they are waiting for me there, and we will again have our breakfast, and the sun is rising, and some sort of kind of like a very rosy picture, optimistic picture will all be there, and like we'll again enjoy there in the heaven. That kind of view is also there. So, but we know everybody transmigrates into different bodies and different according to their karma, and they go. And Prabhupada wrote that poem, right? Vrindavane Bhajan. In that he writes that this is just like he wrote that poem in Vrindavan. It's in the book Coming Back at the end. Maya Sansar play is just like that. Right? He says like this. Just like the froth on the sea water mixes again in the sea. Maya's Sansar play is just like that. No one is mother or father or personal relative. Just like the sea foam, they remain but a short time. Just as the froth on the sea water mixes again in the sea, the body made of 5 elements meets with destruction. How many bodies does the embodied soul take in this way? His relatives are simply related to this temporal body. So, of course, we've heard this. But then he says, but on the spiritual platform, we are all connected because we are all eternal eternally each soul is connected to Krishna. So on the spiritual platform, everybody is my everybody is my brother and sister, like that he says, because we have common father. So it's nice. He wrote this after taking sannyas, and Srila Prabhupada wrote the following poem in Bengali while living alone in his humble rooms overlooking the Radha Damodar courtyard in Vrindavan. We saw that room where Prabhupada was sitting there, where the six Goswamis used to take prasadam and discuss Vaishnava philosophy. So all the Jiva Goswami and everybody, they used to meet there, how to spread Krishna consciousness. Written in 1958 before he left for America, this historic poem was published in December, Gaudiya Patrika. I am sitting alone in Vrindavan Dham. In this mood I am getting many realizations. I have my wife, so wife was there, but far away, sons, daughters, grandsons, everything. But I have no money, so they are a fruitless glory. Krishna has shown to me the naked form of material nature. By his strength, it has become all so tasteless to me today. Yasyaham anugrinnami harishyatad dhanam shanai. I gradually take away all the wealth of upon those whom I am merciful. How was I able to understand this mercy of all merciful? So he has become penniless and without any support and relatives like that. But he says this is the special favor Krishna has bestowed upon me. Everyone has abandoned me, seeing me as penniless. Wife, relatives, friends, brothers, everyone. This is misery, but it gives me a laugh. I sit alone and laugh. In this Maya Sansar, whom do I really love? Where have all my loving father and mother gone to now? So his mother and father departed. And where are all my elders who were my own folk? Who will give me news of them? Tell me who. All that is left of this family is a list of names. And then this verse we read. But then he says, but everyone is your relative brother on the spiritual platform. So, because we are all having same father. Aham bija pradapita. This relationship is not tinged with the smell of Maya. The Supreme Lord is the soul of everyone. In relation to him, everyone in this universe is the same. All your relatives, brother, all the billions of jivas. When seen in relation to Krishna, they are all in harmony. Forgetting Krishna, the jiva desires for sense gratification. And as a result, he is firmly grasped by Maya. That's why Narottam Das Thakur says, let me go to Vrindavan, forgetting all my material desires and all my material attachments, in the song that we read today. Just let me stay in Vrindavan, be at Radha Kund, Sham Kund, and all the gardens where the devotees worshipped Krishna. I want to visit all those places and free from all. As a result of past activities, it takes on different types of body. Absorbed in that dress. So we should be very fearful. What kind of body I'm going to get, This is for all my karma is there from so many lifetimes, this lifetime, so much karma is there. When all this karma will fructify, what kind of situation? We should be very fearful, and that fear should make us surrender to Krishna. Krishna, you said that I'll become free from everything if I surrender to you. So I'm surrendering to you. So fear is also good, because that's why she's saying, tell me about all the calamities, all the fearful situations in this material existence. So I'll become detached. That's what Devahuti is saying. As a result of past activities, it takes on different types of body. Absorbed in that dress, he remains forgetful of Sri Hari. Therefore, Maya gives him so many kind of miseries. And although he bobs up and down in this ocean of misery, he still thinks that he is happy. So that is the dunking in the water and then taking out, then again dunking in the water, that prisoner, how he is punished. Lying on a bed, suffering greatly, having been sick a long time. I'm very well today, he says, laughing. I get a loud laugh out of his feeling very well. And at the end of life, you say, or when you have a terminal disease, you say, just Krishna, please let me go. I'm tired. I get a laugh out of his feeling very well. And you ask him how I'm okay. This is the way the soul conditioned by Maya feels well. Although nothing is well, he is going to be slaughtered by the time. But he feels because he's munching on that grass and enjoying sense gratification. The goat is feeling very satisfied and very happy in his little he's not because he's not foresighted. The goat is not foresighted. He's just thinking right now it's so happy like that. So I'm making nice money and I have nice house and I have nice family and I'm so happy. Or he's working hard and he's thinking I'll get some happiness in the future. Kutra Shisha Shruti Shuka Mrigatrishni Rupa. Or in the future it's like a mirage. Like, okay, I'm working very hard for my situation and in future I will get happiness. When the situation will just become right. How many plans they have to remain? Well, but time and time again nature destroys them. Devi Esha Gunamayi, that is the Supreme Lord's Maya. So everything is smashed by Maya. Time again destroys. We build up our empire and then try to understand exactly the meaning of their feeling well. No one is well in this whole world, but still they are saying. In this way, Maya cheats the conditioned soul. But ignoring that he's being cheated, he remains absorbed in Maya. So when we are being cheated, we don't even know Maya is making a fool out of us. But we are being cheated, but we remain absorbed in the illusion. And although Maya kicks him, he will not give up his mistaken conception. Again and again making plans. And again they are destroyed. So we may have suffered also in this life. But still we make again plans again. So this time around, Maya gives hope. Next time around it will be nice. It didn't work out last time, but next time around it will be nice. Again and again making plans and again they are destroyed. Sometimes he falls on the dry earth and sometimes in the mud. Brahmanda Brahmite Kono Bhagyavan Jiva. In this way, the universe is filled with wandering Jiva souls who finally, by the grace of Guru and Krishna, gets bhakti, the eternal wealth. Gaining that wealth, if they give up all other so-called wealth, then very easily he crosses over the ocean of samsara. So if he hangs on to Krishna consciousness, giving up everything else, sarva dharman parityajya, then he crosses over the ocean of samsara. There on the other side is unparalleled spiritual variegatedness. So Viraja river separates the material and the spiritual world, and on the other side of the river is all happiness. There he enjoys in eternal happiness and peace. Okay, so like that goes on. Big poem. Okay. So, next verse we will read. What is the time? 22. Okay, one verse. Kalasyeshvara rupasya paresham cha parasyate swarupam bata kurvanti yaddeto kushlam janaha. Please also describe eternal time, which is a representation of your form, and by whose influence people in general engage in the performance of pious activities. However ignorant one may be regarding the path of good fortune and the path down to the darkest region of ignorance, everyone is aware of the influence of eternal time, which devours all the effects of our material activities. So Prabhupada is also writing all these purports from his deep sense of renunciation. He's Vairagi, he's completely detached. And he's writing all this to make us detached. So by reading Prabhupada's books, and we also develop or value detachment. Otherwise, in material enjoyment, nobody values detachment. They think this is an interference with our desires for material enjoyment. So they don't like to read all these books because it interferes with the desire for, they don't want to be detached. So that's the body is born at a certain time, and immediately the influence of time acts upon it. From the date of birth of the body, the influence of death is also acting. So every day we are moving closer to death. Our time to leave this world is fixed. The advancement of age entails the influence of time on the body. If a man is 30 or 50 years old, then the influence of time has already devoured 30 or 50 years of the durations of his life. That time gone will never come back. As Prabhupada would often say in his class, this time, this day, 7:30, it will never come back. So this 30, 40, whatever. So remaining whatever time we have left, let us make best use of that time. Because time gone, you cannot bring back by even a lot of money. So we should think that I have a few short years. Prabhupada would say like that. In some place we read also. That this remaining few years of my life, the 20, 30 years, which if I have left in life, let me try to achieve the ultimate perfection. Everyone is conscious of the last stage of life, when he will meet the cruel hands of death. And if you have somebody in your family who is sick, you can see also. Then you can think, one day I will be in this position. Everyone is conscious of the last stage of life, when he will meet the cruel hands of death. But some consider their age and circumstances, concern themselves with the influence of time, and thus engage in pious activities, so that in future they will not be put into a low family or an animal species. So they do some punya karma. Generally, people are attached to sense enjoyment and so aspire for life on the heavenly planets. So the karma kanda is meant for that. Karma kandis, they are meant for doing pious activities. So they can enjoy much better in heavenly planets than here. Like we all came to America because there is nice standard of life, right? That's why people came to America or want to come to America. So then better than America is the heavenly planets. So of course we can't go there by taking an aeroplane or something like that as we came to America. But we can go there, easy journey to other planets, Prabhupada has written the book. So by pious activities you can go there. That's why Prabhupada said they didn't go to the moon, because moon is a heavenly planet. And without having the piety, just by technology, you cannot force your way into a heavenly planet like moon. So he said, no, this is not true. So therefore, they engage themselves in charitable or other pious activities. But actually, as stated in Bhagavad Gita, one cannot get relief from the chain of birth and death, even if he goes to the highest planet, Brahmaloka. Which verse? In Bhagavad Gita, one cannot get relief from the chain of birth.
Brahma Bhuvanalo Pravardino Arjuna Mamapetya tu Konte Punarjanmana Vidyate.
Even if one goes to the highest planet, because the influence of time is present everywhere within this material world. In the spiritual world, however, the time factor has no influence. There is time, but it has no influence. Like destructive influence. So, anyway, we'll see what Kapila Dev says about. That's why he's going to describe the miseries of birth and all these things and how we become attached in this material world. All that is going to describe. This third chapter, 31st, third canto, 31st chapter was very dear to one Maharaj, Mahavishnu Maharaj. He used to read this chapter again and again. Lord Kapila's instructions on the movement of living entities. Because this actually brings about detachment. And he was very fond of this third canto, 31st chapter.
Yeah, this is the child in the womb.
Yeah. So, how one suffers in this material existence and how one becomes attached, and so many other things are also described. So Brahma became attracted. That's also described in this chapter. Okay, so we'll stop here. It's 8:30 almost. So we have a nice mix of the pastimes of Krishna, and then we read Bhagavatam, which talks about detachment. So both Leela and other philosophy. So here some Leela also in the beginning, and then we can also read Krishna book after some time. At 8 o'clock we can read Krishna book tomorrow. Okay, so we'll stop here. Thank you very much for your association.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.